Welcome, one and all, to Scotch and Smoke Rings episode 437. I believe. I am your friendly neighborhood Oxhorn here, as always, with my suspenders set to maximum stun. Got a great show for you today. Today, it is all about Fallout 4 VR. We'll be talking about it. I've been broadcasting it. We'll be broadcasting it again. And I'd love to hear your feedback on what you've thought of this short series for the past few days. And your thoughts on Fallout 4 VR just in general. Now, after the program, I will stream Fallout 4 VR again. I've already done 2 Fallout 4 VR live streams earlier today, and I've got 1 more to go. In the last live stream, we went to Fort Strong and cleared it of super mutants, and in this live stream, we will go to the railroad, get information off the Corsair chip, build the teleportation device, and head to the Institute to possibly deal with Father. We will see. MS Sprague says, I've missed like all of your VR recordings because I've been at school. Well, I'm sorry about that, but I know you're out of school now, so I hope you will enjoy Fallout 4 VR soon. In addition to the YouTube and Twitch chats, I will be monitoring the stream questions chat of Discord until I have to start the broadcast. Then, sadly, I won't be able to see that chat, but I'll still see the other 2. William says it was dope as hell. Thanks. Richard says it was pretty cool. Awesome. Well, I'm glad many of you are enjoying it. Others are expressing their disgust. Strange Mafia says, no more VR live streams, please. The Dark Seraph says, watch out for the ice banks. Almost got me again. You almost got me again. I stopped myself. I stopped myself before I went too far. Good one. Today's a coffee day. I've had a long day. Lots of live streaming today. Lots of preparation. Setting up my Fallout 4 VR. The Fallout 4 VR set takes a lot of fiddling. It's tricky to get right. But once you got it right, you can produce something pretty nice. Crane says, how was your supper, Oxhorn? It was delicious. My wife made me some spaghetti and meatballs. I love spaghetti and meatballs. Although she used a new kind of spaghetti. It was green spaghetti. Not because it was old. It was made from some sort of plant. Now, I realize traditional spaghetti is also made from plants. But this plant in the green spaghetti was green. Was good. And lots of cheese. Got a new box in. La Aurora. These are not the Ilions. However, these are the just La Aurora. Oh, Corojo. Gran Corojo. The La Aurora Gran Corojo. And you know how I love these suckers? So. Give it a cut and light it up. Internet Roamer says, ride the vertibird over and over again for a 2-hour live stream. Well, if some viewers' comments are to be respected, I suppose that's what some people wanted to see. I wrote it twice, just to make everybody happy. Soma says, or Soma814 says, it's cold up here in Bellingham. I can only imagine how cold it is in Seattle. It is a cold day. I've got a space heater blasted at my feet. But in order to not smoke out my wife, I still have my garage door open and my window open and a fan sucking all this smoke out, so it's a little cool. Ryan says Fallout 4 VR is okay. I would much rather just see a normal playthrough of Fallout 4 with your thoughts. Well, that's certainly something I could do. But you know, this technology is brand new. It's less than a week old, and I want to explore it. So I'm taking this week dedicated to Fallout 4 VR, and then we'll be going back to our regularly scheduled programming of Fallout 4 and Fallout New Vegas and Fallout 3 lore videos. In fact, I've been working on a Fallout New Vegas lore video in preparation for this weekend. I'm not going to be able to do any live streaming on Saturday because I have a big Christmas family event planned, which is going to be fun. So I won't be able to do any live streaming on Saturday, so instead I'm trying to prepare a video that will publish on Saturday so that you guys have something to watch. And it's going to be a Fallout New Vegas lore video. I'm really excited about it. I hope you guys will as well. And then, of course, come Tuesday, when I get back, we will be back to all lore videos. I do believe I'll be doing more live streaming on Sunday. Would you recommend Fallout 4 VR? Well, it's not for everyone. But for those whom it's for, it's great. I'm not as experienced with VR games as many people out there. I've only played a couple other VR games, one of which I broadcast yesterday. And Subnautica. It wasn't yesterday, sorry. Last week I played Subnautica in VR live for the stream, and all this week it's been Fallout 4. And Fallout, they did a really good job. As far as VR is concerned, Bethesda did a really good job translating the game into a Fallout into a virtual world. Now, so in terms of VR, it is exquisitely done. But now we have to take a look at VR as a platform itself. VR Fallout 4 compared to PC Fallout 4, I would play PC Fallout 4 every time. It's easier to play. In my opinion, it's more immersive. Even though you're really throwing yourself in the world with Fallout 4 VR, on the PC, I still feel like it's more immersive because you can take a moment to sort of relax and read the terminals and explore the corners and talk with the people. With Fallout 4 VR, I'm standing the entire time. I'm standing and I get tired. I get tired, and sometimes I'll feel myself get a little dizzy, or you know, just the physicality of it sometimes tires me, which kind of pulls me out of the world. And then every now and then you'll see a weird graphical glitch, but then again, you saw that in Fallout 4 to begin with. Fallout 4 was just horribly optimized from the beginning. The same is true in Fallout 4 VR. I'm seeing some of the same graphical glitches that I fixed in my PC version of Fallout 4 in Fallout 4 VR that I haven't had a chance to fix yet, of course, because it's a brand new installation of Fallout 4. But for those of you who love VR in general and think it's the next best thing, and you think it's really immersive and you love playing your VR games, it's an exceptional VR game. I have enjoyed every moment of playing Fallout 4 this week in virtual reality. So, would I recommend it to you? If you like VR, yes. See, this is what happens. I get to talking, and my cigar goes out. There you go. Faith the Slayer says, do you think that VR is a passing fad or the wave of the future? I think it's both. I don't think that VR as we know it now is the wave of the future. VR as we know it now is a passing fad. But I think that the idea of VR is the wave of the future when it comes to gaming. I think that gaming, the only place gaming can go from the PC, which is ultimate gaming right now, sorry console players, is in virtual worlds. Now, the implementation of virtual reality is evolving. It's constantly getting better. The Vive headset, which I just recently bought for Fallout 4, has already gone through a number of different iterations. Oculus Rift, which has been out for many years now, has also already gone through multiple iterations. So the platform itself, I think, won't be the same in 5 years, and it may not even be recognizable. That said, I can't predict the future. Maybe Fallout 4 maybe virtual reality as we know it will remain a headset that you strap to your head, and then you got to make sure your world space is okay, and maybe that'll all be the same. And you got these wands. It's a little clunky, but once you get used to it, it's not that bad, honestly. I know that watching my live streams, you see me moving around these wands, and it looks kind of awkward, and it was. Watch my very first episode of the Fallout 4 live stream, and I had a hard time killing rad roaches with a stick. That's how bad it was. But after playing 10 hours, I've been playing it for 10 hours, it's really easy now. I have fluid movement. You'll remember in my first few episodes, I had used the teleport feature because moving around was really weird for me. But after I switched from the teleport feature to the moving around on the D-pad thing, the directional movement, I got used to it, I practiced it, now it's secondhand nature. So I know it looks a little weird taking a look at the wands, but it's really not that bad. Once you get into it, it's pretty easy. Do you eat the perfectly preserved pie when you get it in Fallout 4? I've only gotten it twice. There's a perfectly preserved pie in an Etotronic inside the Mechanist's lair. Well, not in the Mechanist's lair. It's in one of the hallways just before it, in the RoboBrain facility. And there's one in a fixed perfectly preserved pie vending machine in Nuka World, close to that big garage where the Hubologists get on the spaceship. Those are the only two I've ever gotten, because I've had bad luck. I've never successfully gotten one from one of the machines before. And yes, I ate the pies both times. Aurora Bennett says, hey Oxhorn, can you do a beard care video? And can you do vlogs? Well, you may not know this, but before I made this new channel, well, that is before I started actively broadcasting on this channel, which was only April of 2016, I did beard care videos, and I had a beard care blog. My beard care blog is still online. It's growabeardnow.com. I wrote every single scrap of text on that website, dozens and dozens of how-to guides and articles. I was trying really hard to make it profitable, and it was pretty profitable for a while. I was an Amazon affiliate. I made my money by recommending beard care products on Amazon, and I made, half a dozen or so beard care videos. It just wasn't profitable enough, so I had to abandon it for my new YouTube channel, which I'm doing now, which is much more profitable. So I'm really glad I made the switch. But yeah, I learned a lot about beard care during that time. It was fun. Oh. Blue Phoenix says, hey Oxhorn, what other games have you thought about playing that lead a similar style to Fallout? Well, that's something I struggle with, honestly, and maybe you guys can help me out. I really want to include other games like Fallout on my channel. To be perfectly honest, I don't feel like a gamer. I don't really consider myself to be a gamer. I love Fallout. I love the stories of Fallout. I love the art of Fallout. The only game I play is a Fallout game. When it comes to other games, I really don't play them. I don't play any other games, just Fallout. So I don't know if I would be considered a gamer. So but I want to find more games like Fallout that are post-apocalyptic, that have, an open world and a wonderful story that I can really get into. I'm not too keen on fantasy, which is why I haven't gotten too into Skyrim, although I did beat it. I killed Alduin. It was fun, but it really wasn't my cup of tea. I'll leave that to other people. Fudge Muppet, by the way, they're doing a great series of lore videos on Skyrim. So if you love lore and you like Skyrim, go watch Fudge Muppet. They're great guys. But, I've tried some stuff. So I tried Stalker. Well, so I've already done the Metro series. I've been live streaming the Metro series in Scotch and Smoke Rings for months now. I've already finished Metro 1, and now I'm working on Metro Last Light. I bought the Stalker series, all 3 Stalker games. I thought, well, I'm just going to bite the bullet and buy all the games and start playing them. I hop into the games, and they were so disorienting to me that I just couldn't get into them. Now, I'll give them another shot, because I know that they're classics. I just couldn't get into them. Then I downloaded a new game called Atom, which is an indie post-apocalyptic game inspired by Fallout 2. And it's like a love letter to Fallout 2. They've got a lot of wonderful, familiar things, especially when it comes to the interface and moving around, that if you loved Fallout 2, you would love in Atom. Also set in post-apocalyptic Russia, some of the story is, I mean, it's got a little bit of cheesy dialogue, some spelling mistakes. But aside from that, it's pretty fun. But I don't know, I'm not really getting it yet. BioShock, yeah, I played BioShock. I probably played 6 hours of BioShock. And again, it's just not capturing my imagination. I expressed some of my criticisms of BioShock, the first BioShock, in a previous live stream. Now, I haven't played beyond BioShock 1. I know that it's, again, a classic series. And if I got really into it, I'd probably really love it. But when I was playing BioShock 1, I didn't have the time to really read and listen to all of the audio tapes that were lying around. I would listen to them and kind of got the story, but really didn't. And then I'm constantly finding these new plasmids to use, and it was overwhelming, and it was slightly confusing, and I didn't understand the plasmid side of things. It felt a little bit too much like magic to me, and I didn't understand why. And there was just, maybe I just didn't understand BioShock, and that's probably my fault. So I'll revisit it, but after playing 6 or so hours, I really didn't get into it. Anyway, I haven't found anything that I love as much as Fallout yet. So I'm doing a lot of Fallout. Everything is Fallout on my channel, even though I really don't want it to be. I want my channel to be a broader channel, but so far I'm focusing like a laser on Fallout. Oh well. Cross promo for Fudge Muppet after their Oxhorn build. Yeah, no. I've bragged about how much I love Fudge Muppet for a long time. Even before they made the Oxhorn build, I was talking about them because they make amazing builds. They just do. And I use all of their builds for my playthroughs. So whenever anyone would ask me what my build was, I would just say, go watch this Fudge Muppet video. Maybe they saw that, and maybe that's why they made an Oxhorn build. I don't know. Christian says, hello from Kentucky. Truck plant. Well, hello there, Christian. Glad to have you on the program. Thank you for the tip. Meme Lord says, hey, Oxhorn, I just recently watched all 3 of your random encounter videos, and I was wondering, do you have any plans to pick up where you left off on, in my opinion, and to make a part 4 of the Fallout 4 Random Encounters video series? I know there are a lot more spots you covered, and I would really like to learn of them. Yeah, it's been on my agenda for some time. It's a lot of work. It's a heck of a lot of work, and it relies a lot about chance. First, you got to find the random encounter spot. Then you have to go there on the right character, because the random encounters you find are different based on your level. And then, once you find the spot and you're on the right character, you have to go back over and over and over, and you're shooting hours and hours of footage just to get different random encounters, because for some reason I would always get the same random encounter. I would find a spot, I would get 2 or 3 new ones, and then I would start to get the same 2 or 3 over and over and over again. An hour later, I might get one that I never got before. Yes! It would take forever. I do want to get back to it, but I'm really focused on Fallout 3 and Fallout New Vegas right now, but I will get back to it. Mrs. East says, oh, OMG, I love the coffee mug. You should see my wife's. We got this as a matching husband-wife set. Mine says, Monsieur, and hers has a big pair of lipstick lips saying Madame. There's nothing like a cup of hot coffee and a smoking cigar at the end of a long, cold December day. Oxhorn, any more plans on Fallout 4 companion videos? Absolutely. I still have to do Piper, Codsworth, and a few other, X688, some others. And I'll do them all. Deacon, yeah, I've actually shot footage for Deacon's. I need to finish his. When are you doing Broken Steel? Says Dark Spider. Well, it's the final Fallout 3 expansion, or DLC, so it'll be the final one I do. It'll probably be the very last DLC I do for both Fallout 3 and New Vegas, because, yeah, Lonesome Road is the last one for New Vegas that I haven't done yet, and it's next after the next one I do for Fallout 3, so yeah, it'll bounce back. Das Nagatier says, by the way, didn't you make Codsworth yet? He basically can wear your head. The top of my head. Yeah. No, I need to make Codsworth. He's fun. We'll get to it. Don't worry. Lord Laskevin says, any interesting locations I should visit in Fallout 4? I mean, I've covered almost all of them. They're all great. Easy City Downs is interesting. It's a big robot racetrack. Longfellow, yeah, I need to do... Actually, I kind of did Longfellow already. I already did a video dedicated to old Longfellow. I didn't really talk about his personality, but I did go through all of his affinity dialogue options. So check out my video on old Longfellow. I don't know if I'll revisit him. I may, but I may not. Crane says, what year did you and your wife get married? Right, I should know this. I kid. It was 2011. 2011. Did anyone clarify the whole vertibird thing from the last video, that he could have taken a vertibird to Fort Strong and used the minigun to take out the super mutants instead of walking there? Oh, yeah. Right. Because Maxon pretty much said that, didn't he? That there was a vertibird waiting for me at the Boston airport that I could have taken. It would have made the whole thing much easier. Whoops. Well, hey, at least you got to see me do it on foot. And that was still fun. And I did it on very hard mode with just me and Paladin Dance. And too many nukes. So there you go. It was on purpose. I skipped the vertibird on purpose because I wanted a more challenging experience for my viewers. They expect it. Lapis Lucas says, Oxhorn, did you know that there are new weapon skins? Yeah, but I can't make a video on them. It's only 4. I mean, could you imagine me sitting down, Creation Club update, 4 new weapon skins? Be a 30-second video. What am I going to do? I'm going to say the exact same criticism that I had in my last video on the weapon skins for Creation Club, so I can't make a dedicated video to that. Maybe I'll talk about them in my next Creation Club video. When they do a big release for the Creation Club again, and I cover that, then maybe I'll throw them in there. Hey Oxhorn, how do you manage your supplies so well? I manage to run out all the time. Well, when it comes to ammunition, I also run out. If you've been watching my Fallout 4 VR live stream, my most frustrating thing has been running out of ammunition. But, yeah, Scrounger is amazing. And then when I go loot stuff, okay, on my very first character, my Miniman character, I looted absolutely everything. And in every single dungeon I went to, if it wasn't bolted to the ground, I picked it up and I brought it back to my settlement. And it would sometimes take 2 or 3 trips. And so supplies weren't an issue on that character. But for my other characters, what I do is, I don't want to do that again. So for my power armor characters, I write down all of the different supplies that I need that have the components I need to repair my power armor. Then I only loot items that have those. And I'll make sure to track them all. I'll turn on tracking for all of the items that I miss, and then leave them on, and then when I'm looting a dungeon, I only pick up the highlighted stuff. That way I make sure that I'm only looting stuff that I'm gonna use to fix my power armor, since I don't do settlement building on those characters, and then any ammunition that I need, because I can sell the stuff I don't use for the ammunition I do want. G-Dog says, speaking of ammunition, I miss loading benches. Yeah, me too. That was what was going through my mind during my live stream today. Well, for the past few days, I keep on sitting there thinking, if only Fallout 4 had loading benches like Fallout New Vegas, this would be so much easier, because then I could just transform the ammunition I don't need into the ammunition I do for free. But then again, we do have the ammunition forges from Contraptions Workshop, but we don't have any of the DLCs for Fallout 4 VR yet, which is really frustrating. So Fallout 4 VR, sadly, to my knowledge, didn't come with any of the DLCs, so I don't have the weapon forges. Aaron Barrett says, what do you think about the theory about the Legion crumbling? Well, I don't know what that theory is, but if you're asking my opinion on the sustainability of the Legion, I would agree that it's inevitable that the Legion would crumble. Their practices are not conducive for a long-lasting empire. They're just not. I know that they're modeling themselves after the Roman Empire, but they're failing. The Roman Empire, yes, they were brutal and ruthless, but they didn't just massacre everyone they came across. Especially towards the middle of the Roman Empire, during the golden age of the Roman Empire, they had partnerships and trade relations with a wide range of other cultures. Yes, they invaded some cultures, sure, they took over some land, but they were so rich because they allowed their people to trade with many different cultures without forcing them into their religion, without punishing them for their evil sins like they did to the people in Nipton. They don't act any way like the Legion we find in Fallout New Vegas, which, of course, you've got this former New Canaanite who isn't really that educated about Roman history, and then another guy. They make up this new faction and then call it the Legion, and they say, well, the Romans were really successful and they were brutal. They did crucifixions. Let's just do all of the brutal things, and you know what? We'll be as successful as the ancient Romans. No, doesn't really work that way. But, I mean, that said, of course, there are always arguments for how successful tyrannies can be and how brutality can get you what you want. But my argument is those are always short-term solutions. They do work, but they're short-term solutions. They don't work for the long term. But those are thoughts that I'll get into when I do my series on the Legion, which I'm sure all of you Legion fans are really looking forward to. Frank says, have you ever tried authentic Cuban cigars? Yes, but not while I was in the United States because you can't get them here. I've been to Canada a few times. Every time I go to Canada, I'll get one Cuban. And then I went to Amsterdam, and while I was in Amsterdam, I had a few Cubans, and they were really nice. But not any better than these. Like, since the trade embargo has been going on for so long, cigar makers have been growing tobacco in the Dominican Republic, in Nicaragua, in Honduras, that can rival any tobacco grown in Cuba today. It used to be that tobacco grown in Cuba was the absolute best in the world. But if you take a look at the top 10 cigar rankings on cigar.com, for the past 10, 15 years, it's been other cigars outside of Cuba that have dominated the top 10 slots. Cuban cigars are still great, don't get me wrong, but they don't dominate the top tier cigars anymore. Now you can get great cigars anywhere. Gustavo says, hey Oxhorn, how you been? Could you do more mod musters, please? Yeah, I know I need to get back into my mod videos. Honestly, I haven't been doing many mods recently because I've been so preoccupied with lore. Fallout 3 and Fallout New Vegas take up a lot of my time. More so than Fallout 4 did. They're more difficult to make videos with. They're still a lot of fun to make videos with, but they're more difficult to make videos with. So the recording is a more laborious process, the editing is a more laborious process, and I just haven't found time to also do mod videos for Fallout 4. But there will come a time when I'll have an opportunity to do more mod videos, and who knows, that might come soon. We'll see. How's the cigar, says Doomed. It's really good, thank you very much for asking. It's going great with this coffee, although my coffee's getting a little cold. It's a cold day, or a cold evening tonight. Alex says, are you planning on doing more content in other VR content, other VR games, I assume he's asking? I don't have plans to do that, but that isn't to say that I won't. I enjoyed streaming Subnautica in VR last week, but Subnautica is the kind of game that I would really love to play by myself. And it has no lore. It's got base building. It's one of those games you can lose yourself in to just really enjoy a good 3 or 4 hours of playing by yourself. So it's really not. It's not good for my channel. And then I haven't really looked up any other games in VR. So no. You should do a video on Miss Fortune if you haven't already. Yeah, I should. I have Miss Fortune on my New Vegas character. There's no lore. There's no lore, so yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure what I would say about her. I could make up something, but I don't think that would be very well received. Samuel Fred says, what are your thoughts on people giving you hate? My thoughts are that I'm used to it. No matter what you do, you get hate. It's just the way of the internet, and I just don't pay much attention to it. I do what I do. I enjoy what I do. That's all that matters to me. What are you planning on doing a video for Ed E? Probably when I start doing Lonesome Road, because there are, of course, a lot of upgrades. Well, Ed E has some history in the Divide, and so we'll tackle that when we get there. Should I get the Fallout DLCs? Yeah. So far, every single Fallout that I've played has amazing DLCs. Fallout 4's got some great DLCs. The settlement building DLCs for Fallout 4 are really only interesting if you build settlements, but Automatron is a lot of fun. Far Harbor is amazing. It's probably my favorite DLC of any Fallout game so far. And then Nuka World is alright. Nuka World is okay. I'm glad it's there. I had fun with it. It's alright. Ryan says, Oxhorn, what's your opinion on Todd Howard's comments about the terminal secret? He made those comments over a year ago, and he didn't follow up on it, to my knowledge. So we don't really know what he was saying there. So yeah, has the secret been discovered? Has a YouTuber covered it? Maybe. We just don't really know. Does it have something to do with Deacon? That's my bet. I think it might have something to do with Deacon. I'll look into it. GL says, in your New Vegas Gunslinger game, what's your favorite revolver? Well, the Mysterious Magnum is great, but it always makes that sound whenever you pull it up and put it down, which can get a little annoying. So I've been really enjoying Lucky, the gun we get from the safe in the Bison Steve. Ben Jones says, I have just one question. What's your favorite weapon you've used in any Fallout game you've played so far? Probably the lever action rifle from Far Harbor. Everything about that weapon is just great. I love the silencer. It's just cloth wrapped around the the gun. It makes a great noise. It's fun to shoot. I love that gun. Why not the Ranger Sequoia? Because I have to kill a Ranger to get it. I don't want to kill a Ranger. I like the Rangers. Now I suppose I could allow Chief Harlan to kill himself. But again, I don't know if I want him to kill himself. Even though what he did was wrong, I don't know if suicide is the best way out for him. Then I could get a Ranger Sequoia, but I don't know. Maybe a Ranger will randomly die in front of me someday and I'll get a Ranger Sequoia. But right now I don't have one. Jay says, do you ever plan on making a lore video for Mothership Zeta in Fallout 3? Yeah, I do plan to make a video about Mothership Zeta when I get to that DLC. So I'm doing all of the DLCs in order of their release. Do you think, says Chris, that Father Elijah has his origins in New Canaan based on his title and his name? Hadn't thought about that. He does have a biblical name, that's for sure. But you'd think we would have heard about it. Joshua Graham would have said something about Elijah, wouldn't he? He would know if anyone, right? Dirk says, why don't you use the sights scopes in VR? Because you can't. As you'll see, I have a scope attached to my Righteous Authority and it doesn't work. Scopes don't work in VR. Metro today? No, today we're going to be doing Fallout 4 VR. But, ladies and gentlemen, I think it's time for me to get to Fallout 4, so I'm going to end the broadcast now. I'm going to be away for about 5 minutes, and when I get back, we will play some Fallout 4 VR. So, hang tight, everybody. I know it's going to be a blank screen for a little bit, but just stay where you are if you're really interested, and you'd like to see Fallout 4 VR. I have to do some setup. I've got to change some audio inputs and stuff like that, but in a moment, I'll be back. So, hang tight for just about 5 minutes, okay? I'll be back soon. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see ya in the Commonwealth.